Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now on this Monday, May the 18th. The New York Mets get back on track, and meanwhile, a division rival goes off the tracks. It is now officially, to me at least, a two-team race in the National League East. Not a three-team race anymore. We already knew the Phillies. We already knew the Braves weren't going to be part of the mix in 2015. But it looked like coming to the season, you'd have the Nationals on top of the NL East, and you'd have the Mets and the Marlins fighting for second place, fighting for a wild card, and fighting to be that team, maybe jockeying for position to be that team that really challenges the Washington Nationals all year long. We know the Nationals struggle out of the gate. They're starting to put their pieces back together, especially with Bryce Harper. The Mets had a great 11-game winning streak in April, stuttered a bit, but now here they come with 2 out of 3 against the Milwaukee Brewers. But down in Miami, dysfunction has hit again. The Marlins, after 38 games, fire their manager, Mike Redmond. And on the surface, getting rid of a manager, even though some people around baseball believe Mike Redmond's a good manager, did a really nice job last year taking that team from how bad they were 2 years ago to respectable last year. This was supposed to be another leap forward in 2015. They got off to a tough start, 16-22 through 38 games. The Marlins have struggled. Redmond is out, but that's not the story. The story isn't Mike Redmond losing his job. That happens all the time. In fact, in 2003, around this time, the Marlins rid themselves of their manager, brought Jack McKeon in, and we know where they went. World Series, they beat the New York Yankees there. So getting rid of your manager, moving on from the manager, isn't the big deal in May. The big deal for the Marlins, the big deal for the Mets and everyone else in the NL East is who they put in now to replace Mike Redmond. Dan Jennings is coming down from the GM spot. The general manager of the team will now manage the team in Miami. The last time he coached or managed at any level was in college in the 80s. Not the minor leagues, not the major leagues, nothing like that. He's been a scout. He rose up to GM. He knows baseball. He got Giancarlo Stanton to re-sign there. He traded for D. Gordon. I mean, this guy knows baseball, knows how to put together a team. But there is a big difference between being in the front office, being cold, being calculated, looking forward, always thinking about tomorrow, and being a manager, being very about today, winning on a day-to-day basis, managing a bullpen. Dan Jennings has no idea what he's got himself into, and the Marlins, to me, despite the talent, despite Giancarlo Stanton, despite D. Gordon going for a batting title, despite having Jose Fernandez coming back soon, have taken themselves out of the mix with their dysfunction here. They have taken themselves out of the mix and have elevated the Mets. Now the Mets, as you project forward the rest of the season, look at them and look at the Nationals as the race for the NL East crown, because they're the two teams that have the best combination of talent and, a head on your shoulders at the top of the organization. Both teams have it. The Marlins don't. The Phillies are ways away, and the Braves as well, a ways away from really, really competing here. So now the Mets, as you look at their schedule, and I know they've played some games against the Marlins and the Braves and the Phillies, but you look forward, all those games against the Marlins left, all those games against the Braves left, all those games against the Phillies left. Those are opportunities to not only rack up wins and challenge the Nats in the NL East, but those are wins and those are opportunities to gain ground on the other wild card contenders in the Central and in the West. No division in baseball now, if the Marlins continue down a path of dysfunction this year, has 3 teams as bad as the Braves, Phillies, and Marlins look to be and can be the rest of the season. The problems down in Miami, that's a gain for the New York Mets as they get their feet back under them and they start pitching well again and the Mets start winning the way, maybe close to the way they were winning in April. You could look forward here and say they're going to be in it all year because they're pretty good, the division stinks, and the Marlins, who look to be a contender, are so dysfunctional right now, you have to take them out of the mix. I'm Joe Giglio for NJ Sports Now.